Summary of Oedipus Rex. The jaw-dropping tragedy that shocked ancient Greece, by Sophocles, written and narrated by Janky Mind. Introduction. Oedipus Rex unfolds a tragic narrative rooted in the myth of King Oedipus, who, while probing a murder, unravels startling revelations about his own existence. Originating approximately 2,450 years ago in Athens, this play, penned by the masterful Sophocles, transforms an age-old myth into a compelling tragedy. The tale revolves around King Oedipus, whose relentless pursuit of truth leads to his own downfall as he confronts the shocking reality of his identity. Far from a light-hearted diversion, Oedipus Rex delves into themes of incest, murder, suicide, and profound self-infliction, offering a profoundly unsettling experience. Yet, within its harrowing narrative lies a masterpiece, still hailed as one of the most exceptional tragedies ever crafted and revered as one of the paramount plays in history. Its impact extends beyond the stage, influencing numerous adaptations and even sparking Freud's controversial Oedipus complex theory, where the play prompted reflections on humanity's deepest, darkest desires. Prepare for a thought-provoking journey into profound questions of fate, free will, and identity. While the darkness and gore may be daunting, Oedipus Rex invites contemplation. Keep those trigger warnings in mind as we embark on this exploration. If you prefer a brief overview, feel free to skip ahead to the final section when you're ready. Chapter 1. King Oedipus must find a murderer and banish him. In the city of Thebes, a devastating plague has taken hold, filling the streets with lifeless bodies. King Oedipus, determined to end the suffering, dispatches his brother-in-law Creon to consult the oracle at Delphi for guidance. Upon Creon's return, a dire revelation unfolds. To quell the plague and save the city, they must uncover and banish the long-lost murderer of King Laius. Oedipus, resolute in his commitment, pledges to track down this elusive culprit, seeking the counsel of the blind prophet Tiresias in his pursuit. Oedipus's relentless quest takes an unexpected turn when Tiresias, initially hesitant to reveal the truth, points an accusing finger at the king himself. A heated confrontation ensues, revealing the irony that Oedipus, the supposed hero, is blind to his own impending tragedy. Throughout the play, dramatic irony permeates the narrative, as the audience, familiar with the Oedipus myth, witnesses his unwitting descent into doom. Sophocles portrays Oedipus as a noble and compassionate leader, driven by a genuine desire to alleviate the suffering of his people. As he plays the role of a determined detective, interrogating others in pursuit of the truth, he remains oblivious to the irony that he, in fact, embodies the prophecy he seeks to unravel. The theme of oracles and prophecies adds depth to the narrative, highlighting Oedipus's inconsistent attitude toward divine messages. While he readily embraces the oracle's guidance, he vehemently rejects Tiresias's revelation, showcasing the complexity of human beliefs and biases. Chapter 2. Oedipus starts to suspect that he may be the murderer. Amidst Oedipus's lingering fury, a confrontation with his brother-in-law Creon unfolds, only to be interrupted by Jocasta, Oedipus's wife and the sister of Creon. Jocasta, also the former wife of the murdered King Laius, reassures Oedipus that he cannot be the murderer. Recounting a prophecy that Laius would be slain by his own son, Jocasta contends that this prophecy proved false, as Laius was killed by strangers. She further reveals that the son she bore with Laius was abandoned as a newborn, eliminating any possibility of Oedipus being the murderer. However, a seed of doubt is planted in Oedipus's mind as he recalls a past encounter with a drunken stranger who hinted at his true parentage. Seeking clarity, Oedipus consulted the oracle at Delphi, only to receive a disturbing prophecy predicting patricide and incest. Desperate to evade this fate, Oedipus left his home city and unwittingly journeyed to the very location where Laius met his demise. A chilling coincidence arises as Oedipus recalls killing a stranger at that same spot, prompting him to question his own involvement in Laius's murder. As Oedipus grapples with the convergence of prophecies and events, the pieces of the puzzle start falling into place. The revelation that Tiresias may be right, and Oedipus himself is the sought-after murderer, casts a dark shadow over his life. Despite the temptation to remain in ignorance, Oedipus's dual obligations, to his duty as king and his personal quest for truth, compel him to persist in his inquiries. The unfolding tragedy intensifies as Oedipus, on the brink of discovering his grim reality, grapples with the choice between embracing the truth and living in perpetual doubt. The audience, acutely aware of the impending catastrophe, is drawn into the poignant and inevitable unraveling of Oedipus's destiny. The gripping narrative captures the essence of great fiction, where the anticipation of impending doom becomes a magnetic force that keeps us engaged, even when the outcome promises to be agonizing. The stage is set for the tragic climax, where Oedipus's world is poised to crumble beneath the weight of his own destiny. Chapter 3: The Harrowing Revelation. A messenger arrives at the palace, bearing news that turns Oedipus's world upside down. While the death of his adoptive father, Polybus, brings a semblance of relief as it confirms that Oedipus did not kill him, it unveils a shocking truth. The messenger discloses that Polybus was not Oedipus's biological father. The messenger, having been present at the pivotal moment, recounts how he found a newborn, Oedipus, while herding sheep. This revelation prompts Jocasta to implore Oedipus to cease his relentless pursuit of truth. Despite Jocasta's plea, Oedipus, driven by an insatiable thirst for the complete truth, seeks out the old shepherd. Reluctantly, the shepherd shares a chilling tale of abandonment and prophecy. Oedipus is shattered when he learns the horrifying reality. He unknowingly killed his father, King Laius, and married his mother, Jocasta. The prophecies, seemingly thwarted by the character's attempts to evade them, have come to fruition in a tragic twist of fate. The characters, entangled in a web of destiny, find themselves helpless against the cruel irony that defies their efforts to alter their fates. While fate looms large in the world of Greek tragedy, Sophocles introduces the nuance of free will. Oedipus, a tragic figure and hero, grapples with the consequences of his choices, emphasizing the complexity of the human experience. As the narrative unfolds, the question arises: what will Oedipus choose to do next? Chapter 4: The Descent into Darkness. A messenger brings grim tidings from inside the palace. A distraught Jocasta has taken her own life. Oedipus, in a state of utter despair, discovers her lifeless body and, overcome by grief, inflicts a gruesome act upon himself. Using the pins from Jocasta's brooches, he blinds himself, a visceral and shocking scene that adds a layer of dramatic impact to the unfolding tragedy. Blinded and in excruciating pain, Oedipus emerges from the palace, offering a poignant explanation for his self-inflicted agony. Consumed by shame and guilt, he wishes to be spared the sight of his children and the parents he will encounter in the afterlife. Creon, now a significant figure in Oedipus's fate, arrives, and Oedipus implores to be banished from the city. However, Creon defers the decision to the gods. In his final moments of authority, Oedipus requests to hold his daughters, who are also his half-sisters, one last time. The heartbreaking encounter ends as guards, in a harsh reminder of his fall from kingship, take the children away. Oedipus, stripped of his royal stature, awaits banishment. The shocking act of blinding, an addition or emphasis by Sophocles, serves both dramatic and thematic purposes. It contributes to the play's lasting impact, drawing attention to the theme of sight and blindness, as well as mirroring the earlier condemnation of the blind prophet Tiresias. Despite the seemingly predetermined nature of fate, Oedipus's actions showcase the enduring power of free will. In the face of tragedy, he remains an active and courageous character, navigating his fate with resilience and determination. Oedipus's complex portrayal invites reflection on the interplay of fate and free will in the human experience. Summary. In the ancient Greek tragedy, Oedipus Rex, by Sophocles, the narrative unfolds against the backdrop of a devastating plague in the city of Thebes. Faced with the crisis, King Oedipus seeks guidance from an oracle, only to be informed that to lift the plague's curse, he must uncover and expel the murderer of King Laius, who met his demise years ago. As Oedipus delves into the investigation, a chilling revelation emerges, intertwining with two ominous prophecies, one foreseeing Laius's demise at the hands of his own son, and the other predicting Oedipus's patricidal act and an incestuous union with his mother. In a cruel twist of fate, both prophecies materialize, exposing that Oedipus unknowingly killed his biological father, Laius, and entered into matrimony and parenthood with his biological mother, Jocasta. Stricken with horror upon this realization, Jocasta takes her own life, while Oedipus, overwhelmed by the tragedy, blinds himself. Reduced to a shattered existence, the once mighty king pleads for exile as he grapples with the irreversible ruin of his life. This audiobook summary was brought to you by Janky Mind. We hope you enjoyed it.